One More Turn. Episode 802, Professionally Personal.
Go for Garrison.
Avery told me about Gary's use of alliteration in answering calls. Seems it's genetic.
Our greetings and salutations, Reese. Riley provided me with your contact information. Are you calling in a personal or professional capacity?
Are they necessarily mutually exclusive?
If your name is Riley, not necessarily.
What was that?
We're campaign managers for rival candidates in our town's municipal elections, so a professional call would be awkward, and a personal one would just be inappropriate. What is it with you millennials anyway?
You and I were both, in fact, born in the same millennium.
Say again?
I'm calling on behalf of Avery and her campaign for mayor.
Awkwardness it is.
From one campaign manager to another, I can offer you a chance to control the narrative.
I know you were a reporter and covered the campaigns of a number of candidates I've represented in the past. I've even facilitated your interviewing a few of them.
As an acquaintance of mine was fond of saying, what's your point?
Categorizing Hudson as a acquaintance is a generous term indeed. You do know that I'm Gary's cousin, right? And Bella's godfather.
Your categorization of this conversation as awkward may be understated.
My point is that you were the media's marketing equivalent to mine in the political sphere. We endeavor to control the narrative. We are not in the business of surrendering a narrative on anything to anyone. Not if we want to stay in our business. From one campaign manager to another, save the spin and get to the point yourself.
We know that Caleb offered to siphon funds from One More Turn Solutions to donate to your candidate's campaign through his personal account. We have video of his representative, Jacob, telling Avery just as much.
Well, bully for you. You are telling me privately, not blindsiding me publicly.
Your candidate is already in dubious moral company given his affair with, well, your goddaughter. This revelation will destroy any credibility he has left. May have left.
Well, that's one interpretation.
Pardon?
Pedro is consistently ahead of your candidate in the polls. His failings are relatable to the electorate who see him as a human being, a contemporary. Your candidate? Nah, not so much.
If you want to compare our respective candidates' records of failing, we'll be here a while.
Well, apparently the electorate finds the failings of mine more forgiving than yours. Hard to sympathize with a woman who amassed her wealth on the misfortune of others.
Am I supposed to be impressed with your clever wordplay?
You could wash your car in your driveway in your best Sunday dress for all I care.
Here's my point. Convince Pedro to drop out of the race and endorse Mabry for mayor. Well?
Impatience is an unwelcome trait I find in many millennials, fueled by the instantaneous nature of social media and an overinflated sense of self-importance. I was laughing on the inside at the absurdity of your statement and chose to observe a moment of silence for the loss of your dignity. You may wish to do the same.
Your track record at guiding candidates into elected seats has been on a downward trend since the rise in prevalence, prominence even, of social media. Now I'm actually beginning to favor this millennial term you keep throwing around, if for no other reason than to differentiate myself from your arrogance and self-assuredness.
Your English teachers must be so proud of your use to construct literary essays with your prowess with a thesaurus. Probably an app in your case than an actual book.
What are you hoping to accomplish with all this verbiage?
Frustrate you to the point of hanging up. How about now?
What was that all about?
Riley, good day. In answer to your question, off the record?
As much as you would like.
That's excessive. If you're looking to speak to Pedro himself this time...
Actually, I'm here to do a follow-up story on you. With you.
But I've already been interviewed for your election coverage. It was published days ago.
Ah, but your piece has generated more interest than those on Bella and Reese combined.
Well, to be fair to them, your article on me is more than twice the length of either of theirs. It's been online the longest, and it's the only one of the three to be featured on your company's homepage. You're socializing media too, I'll bet, too.
Social media, yes. I'll give full credit for all these things to my boss. She approved them.
I anticipate she agreed to your suggesting how to structure and promote those articles.
I was kind of hoping you'd be appreciative of the attention, Garrison.
I was expecting you to present balanced coverage as an impartial party.
I know what my readers want to read, and they're the ones whose page views and subscriptions keep me employed. I'm going to give them what they want, and that's you.
Pedro, you mean?
You're the face of Pedro.
Pedro is the face of Pedro.
Not when it's a profile series on campaign manager. He can't be his own manager.
Well, technically he could, but that would be ill-advised. And just weird.
I know, weird.
That's something we can agree on.
Pedro is leading in most polls, so I'm capitalizing on that through you. It's to your credit as much as him for that position, perhaps even more so.
Flattering. And reaching.
That's fact. Yes, he gained local fame, succeeding Hudson as Agnes Smith's chief technology officer, while gaining some nerd cred in beating Caleb in that multiplayer gaming match while representing Agnes Smith. But he also caught a lot of flack for cheating on his wife with someone who is young enough to be his daughter.
My goddaughter, yes, I'm well aware, thank you very much.
Not to mention, he's been known to yell a lot, especially at his kids. Even caught laryngitis once. He had to communicate through his laptop for more than a week.
Do you know for a fact he caught it from someone? Sounds like he may have brought it upon himself by overusing his voice.
Sounds? Is that a shot?
If you have to ask.
Did Gary tell you much about me?
Define much.
About how he and I met, or came to date? You don't smoke, right?
Let's keep our focus on Pedro's electoral campaign for the time being. Have you subscribed to his podcast yet?
One More Turn. Written and created by Daniel Dan Q. Quick. Edited by Dark Cloud. Directed and produced by Daniel Dan Q. Quick. Characters in order of appearance. Garrison, voiced by Steve Warning You 2 Warner. Reese, voiced by Alia Kalina Rades. Riley, voiced by Stephanie Makalua. Sounds courtesy of freesound.org. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Voiceover by Sedgwick. Visit the One More Turn website at onemoreturn.net. Copyright Civilized Communication at civcom.net. On the next episode of One More Turn.
More about helping lessen the likelihood that Pedro would lose not having her win, right?
Oh, because not even a more seasoned man could match my prowess?
A bit try hard to shake off playing the victim of circumstances there. Also, wow.